Okay. Hello everyone. Welcome to the third episode of Timeless Talks. So today we have Darian on, and Darian, tell me a little bit about yourself.
Alrighty, hello everyone. I'm from New Jersey. I am a transfer student. I am also 28. I'm hella old on this campus.
Okay.
I also am majoring in communications. I've been to Korea twice before moving here in 2017 and 2019. And yeah, I moved here in August, so it's a hell of a time.
Okay. Okay. So, where are you originally from?
I
Like,
was
tell me a little bit
born
more
and
about yourself.
raised in New Jersey. Like when I
Okay.
tell you like born and raised, like same like I lived in the same apartment since I was fresh out of the womb. Yeah,
Wait,
so
how
like
long
a
did you
good like
live?
27 years.
Okay.
Yeah.
So before you came to Korea,
Yeah,
or
like I never moved. Like my first time moving was moving to Korea.
how did it that make you feel? Like, was there any cultural shocks?
Not really, only because like I already like prepared myself because I've been planning to move to Korea since 2014 when I started my Korean language journey.
Okay.
So, but life happens.
Mm.
It's expensive to move. So, and I kind of like embrace the fact like Korea's not perfect. No country's perfect.
Okay.
But I feel happier and comfortable and also safer here than I have ever felt back in the States and New Jersey, if I'm gonna be
Ooh,
straight
okay,
up.
okay.
Yeah.
That's quite an interesting topic, and I think today's topic that we're gonna be touching on, it's gonna a little be based off that a little bit more in terms of like safety wise. Um, so tell me in terms of like ethnicity are
Yes.
you?
Because I get questions about that all the time. And even in New Jersey, a lot of people for some reason think I am Hispanic and just automatically just start speaking Spanish to me. And I'm like, I'm sorry, homie, I can't help you, but I am actually mixed. My mom is white and my dad's black.
Because I don't think I've ever told you this. Like when we first met, I couldn't tell what ethnicity you were.
That happens a lot.
And we never, did we ever have that conversation?
I think we did. It was when Karina was still here and we were listening to Doja Cat and
Okay.
everything. And that's when we got into this whole conversation, especially about our topic that we're going to be
Yeah,
talking about
yeah,
very
yeah.
soon. Because you
Hmm.
were like pretty much the typical, like, what are you? Like, who are
Okay,
you?
so I think we can probably just like hit on the topic. So when it comes to N-word, in the
Yes.
Black community, how do you feel about that?
I mean, simply, if you're not black, just don't say it. I feel like also too, if you're not part of the community, it's really not your place to kind of make that decision. I had this discussion with someone a couple months ago too, because they like didn't understand why we decided on that. And I'm
Okay.
like, well, that would be like, say, like there's a slur in the Asian community.
Hmm.
It's not our place to tell them, well, you shouldn't use that like word as like a word of like endearment or anything. Like that's not our place. And it's the same with like the N word as well. I know some people are against using it within the community because of how deep rooted it is
Hmm.
within white supremacy and everything else. Um, but I know some people use it as a term of like endearment. I do know that there are people who don't use it around certain generations within the black community.
Okay, okay.
Um, because they know how much pain that word holds to them.
Hmm.
Um, that's pretty much just my take on it. I also kind of am confused as to why anyone who's not black is like so like
Oh, that's a good.
foaming at the mouth to use it. Like, why can't I use it? And it's like, why do you want to use it?
Mhm. Yeah.
Like, I don't know. This also goes into the whole conversation of like the black community being able to gatekeep certain things
Okay.
within black culture.
Mhm.
That's just coming from a mixed black Americans perspective because I know also like there's a different perspective like also with Africans and also Caribbeans and everything else. Um which is a whole other conversation I guess, but that's just my take on it. And I
Mhm.
know that being mixed, I also get, I don't want to word this. I usually get crap from both sides. Pretty much. It's
Mm,
the whole, well, you're not
oh
black
yeah.
enough, so you can't like say it. But if I don't speak up,
Okay.
it's, oh, well, why aren't you saying anything? Why aren't you speaking up? And it's like, okay, well, which am I? But I've also gotten older and kind of decided no one gets to decide that for me. So,
So in terms of the origin of the word, you like do you have any knowledge of like the history
from what I was made aware about, um, because another friend of mine who was also mixed,
behind?
it originated from a Spanish word, and of course, colonizers colonizing, doing their thing,
Mm-hmm.
use the word as a slur during the whole that whole time period. So originally the word wasn't meant to mean that way. So that's kind of like what I vaguely am aware of.
So from what I know, actually I wrote a paper about this. think
One
This
of
was during I think it was during my freshman year.
the infamous paper.
Yeah, actually during my freshman year, we had to do like a research paper for one of our classes, and then we had to touch on one controversial topic. And I ended up writing about this specific.
While you were here at
Yeah,
this
yeah, yeah.
college. Oof.
Yeah, well,
I have
it
so
was
much to
it was
say.
actually the very first research paper I ever wrote, and like from what I know is like it started off as like like know the word Negro, right? Negro was more of like they were using to describe black folks, but it was not meant to be how it was. But later on, like evolved and the word nigger. That's when it was used to like a lot of the black folks back in like the early 17th century. Yeah, but right now, this day and age that we're in right now, like even within the black community, it's torn between there's like a division. Some people in there, some people, oh, you can all. Some people are like change the meaning behind it, more of like endurement. But yeah, that's pretty much it. But also the controversial topic behind it is like a lot of time people don't want to talk.
Oh, yeah, that is. No one's really ready for that conversation.
Yeah.
But I am curious, what is your perspective as someone who obviously did not, for like a quite,
Yeah, yeah.
like a good amount of time,
Mhm.
I guess is what I'm trying to say. Okay. So I want to know what your perspective is as someone from Ghana and everything else.
So pretty much the way I see it is like it's torn between the black community, and the way I see it's more of it's a word that depending on which side you are, fully understand the black. You need to take in consideration of like different. Because if you're not from the community, it's more you need to watch out for what you. I have the same words like I think I usually make jokes around with some friends. I'm like, oh, fix your mouth,
Watch your
fix
mouth.
watch your mouth.
Watch your
Like I
think
think I use a lot. It's more of a joke, but in terms of from a broader perspective, when you're talking to certain people, you need to consider like certain things you can say, there's certain things you cannot say. Even though you might feel like, oh, totally normal, you don't know like how they're gonna take it.
Yeah, and this is also just as a disclaimer for anyone listening and also like watching. This is not giving non-black people a pass, by the way. Just to make that very clear before we have people in the comments like, wait a minute.
Mhm.
So, yeah, it's like because I told you the story of what happened during one of my classes, like in the beginning, my first
Oh,
semester here.
okay,
And
okay.
I still gaslight myself about it, where, again, this is one of the classes where I'm like one of like two other foreigners. The other one is not black. And so just me and then a whole bunch of Korean students. And I don't know if this was before or after the class. I'm pretty sure it was before because our professor didn't walk in yet. And kid was watching like a video, either TikTok, Instagram, and repeated the video saying this crazy. And I was like, ain't no way. Ain't no way. Say psych. And then says it again. And I was like, in that position where, first of all, this is my first semester here. First day of class.
Oh, it was the first day
First
of class?
day of class. I was like, do I say anything? Do I start anything? And I'm like, no, I'm not going to be that person. Also, it is too late in the day. I'm tired. I don't want to sit here and have this conversation with someone who supposedly, from what I found out later on, was like studied in the States for a little bit. And it's like, at their age, probably should have known better. But I'm like, again, it's like a tough situation because, like I said, first semester here, first day of class, I don't know anyone. And it's like also not what you say, it's how you say it. And I know in that moment,
yeah,
with how my emotions would have been, it just would not have gone well.
You know, like sometimes when people say the word, there's one that ends with like A and then the one that R.
Yes.
What are your thoughts on it? How does that make you feel? How does that make you feel?